Thanks for watching my video. Today we're going to remove the rear wheel on a Honda Goldwing. This is going to be a short video, much shorter than removing the front wheel video that I recently posted. If you like the content, please hit the like button. Thanks for watching. So I'm doing the easy way, and what I've done is I've thrown some towels down on the floor where the little crash bars are going to hit on this Goldwing. And I'm going to lay the Goldwing down on the right side. So I just gently let the bike set down on the right side. It is always important before you throw your bike down on the ground to make sure your gas tank is empty or very close to empty before you set it down. I had one guy come here and he had a full tank, and before I even had the tire off, there was a gallon of gasoline sitting on the floor of my garage. So I wasn't real happy about that. So then we jump on the rear wheel. We've got the rear wheel with easy access. We take our 19 millimeter and we loosen up all the lugs. Because this bike does have highway pegs, and this is a key feature that I need to discuss with you guys. It has highway pegs, so with highway pegs you either have the cheap ones or you have the good ones. I don't know what ones are on this Goldwing, but if you do not have highway pegs, you can just push the bike over and put the center stand out, and it will hold the bike parallel to the garage floor. But because of the highway pegs, it makes it a little bit difficult, and if you have the cheap highway pegs, when you lift the bike up and put the center stand out, it'll bend that highway peg around on the crash bar. So to avoid doing that, because I don't know how good the highway pegs are on this machine, I'm just going to go ahead and use my floor jack, and I'm going to put it on one of the feet of the center stand, and I'm just going to raise the bike up just high enough to get the rear tire off of the garage floor, and this will allow me to get that last lug nut off, and then the wheel will come completely out of the bike. So you see I'm just using a regular car floor jack, and I've put it on the center stand foot peg, and then I can just twist that lug, and that lug nut will come right off. So this wheel's pretty much off at this point. This is what it looks like. There's only about a ½ an inch from the tire hitting the garage floor, and then you just kind of have to manhandle the wheel to get it out from underneath the bike. But there it is, in all its glory. There's your Goldwing wheel sitting next to the bike. Now I just want to show you the valve stem that I like to use. And on this particular bike, I forgot to ask the guy if he wanted me to replace his valve stems. And his valve stem, the rubber on his valve stem, was still in really good condition. I don't know if it's original or not, but when I'm doing a Goldwing, I like to put these 90-degree aluminum valve stems on the bike. It just looks better. It's lower profile. But with the Goldwing, you do have to destroy that little tab that holds the OEM Honda valve stem to get the new valve stem in. So now we're ready to put the bike together. We're going to inspect the brakes while we've got it, the wheel off. It makes it really easy to inspect the brakes. These brakes are about half gone. So, you know, maybe next tire change, the brake pads probably should be replaced out. That's what I would do anyway. And if they're OEM pads, I would probably go ahead and put some EBC HH pads on this bike. So I just let the bike down just a little bit so it'll make it easier for me to slide this wheel up and under, and I get the wheel in, I get it on the hub, and then you just line up the lug nuts to the wheel and it drops on. It's very much like a car, and a lot of Hondas are the same thing with the single-sided swing arm. We put the center cap back in. That has to come out to balance it. I was pretty impressed. This rear wheel, as big as it is, it only took 3/4 of an ounce to get it to balance out at 0. Then we're going to put our lug nuts back on. If you've watched any of my other videos, and I'm going to tell you now because you're about to flame me in the comments, I do not give torque specifications in my video. The torque specifications for this rear wheel, it is easy enough to find in your owner's manual. It's easy enough to Google it and find it online. If you've owned a Honda VFR, I'll tell you it's the same torque specs as a Honda VFR or an ST1300 with the single-sided swing arm. And pretty much most 19mm lug nuts have the same torque specs as this. So there's your hint to find out what the torque specs are. So don't make comments down below saying I didn't give you the torque specs in the video, because I don't give torque specs in any of my videos. But we're going to tighten these down. We tighten them down in a star pattern. That meaning you go from the first one to the opposite one to the opposite to the opposite until all of them are tight. And we do it finger tight. That way the lug nut seats into the wheel properly. And once we have all 5 lug nuts tightened down hand tight in a star pattern, then and only then do we decide to put a wrench on it. So don't put a wrench on the first lug nut and tighten it down as tight as you can get it, and then go to the second one. You want all 5 lug nuts hand tight, as tight as you can get them with your hand, and then you want to jump on it with a wrench. And again, you want to do the star pattern. You start at the first one, you go to the opposite one, then you bounce over to the opposite one of that, and so on until you get all 5 of them torqued down. And then I usually go around and I do one last torque on each one of them. If you do start off with one lug nut and tighten it all the way down and then jump to the second, third, to fourth, like a lot of your tire stores will do, this can cause your rear wheel to wobble. So where the first lug might have gotten seated or might not have gotten seated all the way on the hub, the other ones might not line up perfectly, and that might cause the bike to wobble, and you might have a speed wobble going down the road. So it's better to do it right the first time than to do it the second time. So here's my bike on the side, on its side. The guy that owns this bike, I hope he's very happy with his new tires, and I thank you very much for watching my video.